It's like that.
Wow. There's Apollo's Chariot, folks.
Oh yeah, dude, real nice.
Wait a minute. This ain't Six Flags New England, folks. What's up, guys? It's Arrrow TV here. Today, for the first time ever, I am at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, Virginia. So, I've been always wanting to go there for years, even when I was a child, because my cousin around that area told me nothing about good things about Busch Gardens, and he told me about that when I was like age 7. And I've heard about the Big Bad Wolf until it closed in 2009, and that was actually one of my cousin's favorite roller coasters when it was there at the time. Now Verbolten replaced it. So I'm with some friends today. We got Mikey again.
Hey.
Got my friend Jay. How you doing? And how you doing, Matt?
I'm doing amazing.
Right now you can see, as we enter the park, there is a waterfall. I think it's a man-made waterfall, but it leads into a natural creek. Don't quote me on this, but this is beautiful. All right, after a good while of walking, I finally... DarkKoaster. This is the attraction we're going to be doing first because I heard the capacity is really bad and we'll probably have the longest wait, seeing it's a new attraction. All right, we're going inside the Dark Castle. Enter if you dare. Wow, I really like the line queue so far. And the castle actually feels realistic. No trespassing. Too late.
It'd be so funny if that thing actually confused people for it.
This is so cool.
Do you have what it takes to brave the storm? Let's find out.
I wonder what I'm gonna experience. Well, let's find out. All right, guys, I just got off DarkKoaster, and I gotta say, for an indoor attraction, the theming is fantastic. And I didn't even expect to see launches too. I kept my expectations as low as possible, and I didn't really see a POV of DarkKoasters. I didn't want to be spoiled really much, but wow, very solid ride. And I gotta say, pretty forceful for the launches, despite it's kind of like a family coaster, but even though you have to be 48 inches tall to ride, but man, that was great.
Now sit back with your back against the seat and your head against the headrest. Dare to enjoy your ride on Tempesto. Hold on to the lap ball. When
Alright guys, so I did one ride on Verbolten, I did one ride on DarkKoaster, and I just got off Tempesto. Tempesto is a very solid Premier Skyrocket 2 model in my opinion, but the only downside in my opinion with that is the comfort colors. They're okay, but it's way better just for the lap bar. Phobia is better in my opinion, but I'm about to... Pantheon. The moment you've been waiting for, folks. I am super pumped. Alright everybody, we just got off Pantheon. I did 2 rides on Pantheon, but my other friend Jay did 3 already, and because he found an empty row after that, and he's lucky. But guys, I don't know what to say right now, because Pantheon by far is not only my favorite launch coaster I've experienced, but I really don't know where to put it right now, because it's definitely top 5. It might be more of a front seat ride, because I did second to front on my second ride on it, and my first time was in the very last seat. It is so neck and neck with a few coasters I can think of already. I think I might have this ahead of Superman the Ride now, folks, so that's something for once, and holy cow. Needless to say, I can't wait to ride this again. Matt, how was Pantheon for you?
Pantheon was a fabulous ride. it is so intense. I rode front row and it feels mental. It's just as good as a back row.
And Mike, how was your experience?
Amazing. I had highest hinge for this, and this blew them out of the water. I think after my 2 rides, this is number 3. I could, a front row later could move it to 2, but right now I feel pretty confident with number 3. That was just lethal.
And you did an extra ride, and how was your experience?
Okay, so I'd say the ride was excellent. I was a bit underwhelmed from the expectations, but it was still a great ride regardless. I was surprised though with just because the ride was a bit rough. The spots, especially around the launch.
A tiny bit rattly.
Also, yeah, but even still, it was still like rough, a tad rough like throughout the whole ride. And it was tiny rattly too, which I think would make this pretty hard to marathon, to be honest. I got 3 in and I'm still okay, but I think if you want to go for a lot of rides, eventually you might find yourself in a spot where it's in a lot of trouble.
I just feel like though it's just common with Intaments, because I feel like on any Intamin ride experience, there's always like some sort of rattle. I just always tolerate them.
Also, the front is definitely, I think, better on this ride.
Oh, absolutely. And I can't wait to do a front row ride on this. Hopefully when it gets like closer to dark or something.
The more front you go, the better.
Oh yeah. All right, everybody. The next attraction is going to be the world's first B&M hypercoaster, Apollo's Chariot. Now I hear it's on more of the weaker side, kind of like Nitro, but some people say it's even better than Nitro. And who knows, maybe it could even be my favorite B&M hyper. So without further ado, let's get this bad boy going.
All right, there we go.
I did just got off Escape from Pompeii. Let me tell you guys, this is probably by far the best shoot ride I've ever experienced. The theming is just so perfect. I completely forgot that from a POV I saw, it shoots fire out of the water. Like, that's unbelievable. All right, it's now time for me to do my next GCI, Invadr. This sounds interesting. All right, guys, the next attraction's going to be Alpengeist, and I heard nothing but good things about Alpengeist. And this is actually the tallest and fastest B&M inverted coaster. Finally get to do this. Been waiting for years to do this as well. We just got off Invadr, and I gotta say, for a GCI, it's decent. I wish there was a little more to it, but what really caught me off guard was the first drop. That was actually strong ejector, and I really liked that underground tunnel it had as well. Thought that was pretty cool. Decent laterals too. Not Mystic Timber's good, and definitely not Boulder Dash good either, folks. Now this is the station for Alpengeist, and according to the line, not that bad. Like, it's been not bad for crowds at all today. The longest we waited for Invadr was about a good 35 minutes. That was it. Alright guys, we just got off Alpengeist, and I gotta say, this was a very solid B&M invert. We were in the last seat, I was in the middle row for the last seat, and whoa, very intense. That vertical loop really got me. Like, I actually grayed out in that vertical loop, no joke folks. That was amazing. How was that, Matt?
It was actually so fun. Like, I loved it. I don't know which is better, this or Raptor.
That's tough for me too, honestly. I mean, Raptor's really good. I think maybe for like the helix section, I'd probably have to give it Raptor. But inversion-wise, definitely Alpengeist. That Cobra roll, though, that destroys Raptor's Cobra roll in my eyes, though. That was by far the best Cobra roll I've ever experienced with any B&M. Now we're walking right by Alpengeist again, and if you can see here, this is the log flume. At last, I'm finally able to ride my second dive coaster. The only one I've ridden so far is Valraven at Cedar Point. Now I get to experience Griffon with the original over-the-shoulder restraints used for their B&M dives, which really should be on every B&M dive, not on Valraven. Oh, incoming! Wow! This is really good merchandise they have right at the Das Alpen house I'm at. Really good eatery, by the way, and they just had an Oktoberfest show, which I thought was amazing. So they have plates of Griffon, Alpengeist, Loch Ness Monster, and they even have a Pantheon thing, which is cool. They got a former attraction, Dragonfire, which closed in 1998. And they also have a former attraction as well, which replaced by Verbolten, the Big Bad Wolf. Well, we couldn't ride my ride earlier, but now we've returned. It is I, Grover here. Alright everybody, we're about to get eaten alive now. It's time for the Loch Ness Monster. One of Arrrow Dynamic's classic looping coasters. And it's one of the oldest ones, I think, too. We're in line for Finnigan Flyers now, the S&S Scream and Swing. I've ridden Thunder and Lightning at Lake Compounds. I've also ridden Skyhawk, whatever that name is at Sky Coaster at Cedar Point. I've ridden that too, and I've also ridden Swingshot at Kennywood as well. I forgot the names, but they're all pretty good rides in my opinion. Wow, you're going pretty high on this one. Holy crap. Alright guys, we're about to do the scoop now. This is the log flume for Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and what I really like about the theming is that it shows like a saw. That is sick.
But honestly,
alright, we're now doing Verbolten round 2. We did Verbolten as one of our second attractions of the day. We did Griffon a few other times, and Griffon, oh my god. Griffon is very underrated, and it's by far my favorite dive coaster I've ridden so far. And I'm having a blast at Busch Gardens overall. It's been pretty dead for the most part. Like, it hasn't been as packed as I was expecting because it was a long line when I got in. Awesome theming, too. So, change of plans. We were going to do Verbolten, but we decided that when we found out that the park was actually closing at 8 and not 9 p.m., we just have to dash to Apollo for one more ride, and then for the rest, Pantheon. But anyways, I forgot to mention about my ride on Verbolten, and I gotta tell you, Verbolten today. This is by far probably one of the best family attractions I experienced, but I don't even know if it's a family coaster. Even though you have to be 48 inches, some even claim it's a family coaster, but I don't think it is. That is some thrill ride for 48 inches. Those launches are even very intense, especially when you're inside. And I'm not gonna spoil what's really inside, because most enthusiasts do not want to spoil it to you folks, but wow. All I have to say, the inside of Verbolten, it's a treat. Alright everybody, we are now going to do round 2 of Apollo's Chariot. And earlier when I was on Apollo's Chariot, I was in the very last seat, and I think it's pretty underrated. A lot of people claim you don't get a lot of good floater. I don't know what you guys are talking about, folks, because those floater moments I had on it today was very strong. Let's see what my second ride will be now. Alright guys, for the rest of the time at Busch Gardens, we're heading back to Pantheon. Now, Jay, how was Pantheon for you earlier when you did experience it?
I would say, I think I described it earlier already, but it was definitely very fun. I was a little disappointed though in terms of my expectations, but it was better. It was a tad rough though, which has surprised me because I think this thing's only like a year old. I think it came out like only last year. But usually more fun you go, the better. Hopefully, I got 3 rides. Hopefully I'm getting more. Hopefully I can judge better. Hopefully it's running faster at night.
And we just got off Apollo for our last couple of rides, and let me tell you, I think Apollo's Chariot is pretty underrated. I got airtime even in the 4th car we're talking about. People are telling that you get no airtime on Apollo. What are you guys talking about?
I like this more than I do.
I think I do. I think my top 3 now is good. Side 305 this.
Honestly, I think I have this number. No, because I still want I 305. And,
Alright guys, we ended off our day with a few rides on Pantheon. One in the front row, and I gotta tell you, Pantheon is by far my #1 launch coaster I've ridden. I don't know where to put it in my top 5, but it's definitely a top 5 for sure. It actually might be better than Steel Vengeance. I don't even know, because
I think it is.
it is unbelievable. Like, that ride got me so speechless. I have no words right now. Guys, how was Pantheon for our last ride?
It was insane. I like it more than I 305. These launches, man, I'm not gonna lie, they feel violent.
It was so violent. The airtime when you're in the launch, oh my god, I felt like I was gonna die. No joke. How was that, Mike?
Ridiculous. I think that's my new #2. I still don't know if I like it more than I-305. I mean, I-305 is definitely more intense, but not as marathonable. But like this, I got a 6-ride marathon with last ride of the night, and including a front row. That was ridiculous. The airtime in the backwards
I had like
launch,
7 or 8 rides on in total,
airtime
but
in the backwards launch.
Jay had 9 rides.
I got
on.
9, yeah.
He
I got
had
8.
9 rides on Pantheon, and is Pantheon like, where would you rank it? Is it like your top 5 now, or?
I would say number 5 exact. I don't think it's better than Twisted Timbers, I-305, El Toro, and Steel Vengeance.
Oh wow,
but
that's
it
a
was
hot
phenomenal.
take.
Yeah.
That's a real hot take
But,
here.
yeah, I was disappointed with how it actually is, but all right. But honestly, it was great, and I think now I do put it actually above Phantom's Revenge. I actually got 9 rides sold today, 3 early, not early in the morning, but in the morning, and then I pulled off 6 in the last half hour. So I'm actually pretty surprised with how I was able to do that. But honestly, it's a lot of aggressive seat hopping, just kind of running around the queue, just cautiously running. Be careful, of course. But basically, yeah, that's how I pulled off 6. I'm still surprised with how I did it though. I mean, the station was still sort of decently packed.
Oh yeah, the station definitely was a little packed, but for the amount of times we waited in lines today, it was not long at all. Like, I was shocked today for my first time in Busch Gardens. Low crowds at the minimum. Like, the longest I ever had to wait for a roller coaster was Invadr for like 35 minutes. That was it. Everything else was like less than 20 minutes. Not even. Now the Escape from Pompeii, folks, wow. That was also an amazing ride too. Didn't get as much wet as I was hoping, but I absolutely love what was inside that building, and so much steaming to it, and there's even mist before you even drop. Great feature. All right, we're about to enter the Emporium now, and this is where we found a lot of merch. And here is one good show I really like already. Busch Gardens Williamsburg, where it shows Pantheon, Verbolten, Loch Ness Monster, Invadr, Alpengeist, you name it. And this, my friend, is amazing. Look at this. They got Pantheon shot glasses, Pantheon mugs, Pantheon coffee mugs for like work and everything, Pantheon t-shirt with the logo on it, a nice Alpengeist shirt, Pantheon with a different design, Griffon, Apollo's Chariot, Loch Ness Monster. This is really cool though. Pantheon poster, but that's probably wicked expensive. I really wish I could buy that, but
Price on this?
well, that's probably like $100. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't see anything on it. I don't see a price on here. So.
All right, guys, we're about to leave Busch Gardens very soon. It's actually past 8:30 now, and it's been about a half hour since the park closed. My friend Jay decided to get some merchandise at the last second, and I got myself a t-shirt, folks. So I got something at Busch Gardens. And boy, I'm going to miss this park so much, everybody. This was amazing. Like, Busch Gardens blew me away. That actually might be my #1 amusement park. I'm not joking. Well, Busch Gardens has come to an end for tonight, folks, and I gotta tell you that Busch Gardens was a blast. I was blown away every one bit of it when I was there. And I wanted to apologize, though, for some of the clips of my video, because the music played at the park was just so loud, where, like, it's like really noticeable, and I just hope that YouTube wouldn't, like, get me for, like, a copyright or something, because you know how it is. Anyways, folks, the next video will be Carowinds. Thanks for watching. Please comment, subscribe below, and as always, peace out.